entertainment.
Or our own entertainment.
Mostly our own entertainment.
We might be the only ones who find us funny. We'll see. Okay.
If you find us funny, congratulations. All right, we are all here and we're getting ready to go over where we're going to go pick up some trash. I've got the recyclable bag.
I got burnable. We've got some ties, gloves.
And we are set to go.
This is a filter. These things are evil. They get in the oceans. They're terrible. The problem with just chucking your cigarette butt is people think that it's just going to disappear. As soon as it rains, it gets washed into the sewer system. It ends up in the ocean. And then wildlife is eating it. And then it's ending up in your food and our water. So throw them away responsibly.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't think cigarette butts taste very good. I don't want them in my food.
No, and don't just leave it on the street hoping that somehow it's going to end up in burnable, because we're not always here to do this. Too many butts!
Cat
We've left the country.
Cat butt.
No butts!
Did you know filters were actually a marketing tool from the 1950s to make smoking seem more healthy, but have no useful function?
Mountain of garbage. Take a look at our mountain of garbage.
Us cleaning up the city of Nagoya is our way to make Nagoya our space too.
Most of the people that come on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to pick up trash are amazing persons, like really great people, and you find friendships that last like for a very long time.
So this gives us an opportunity to show people how easy it is to be eco-friendly and still have a good time, right?
Yeah.
110 yen, you can bring your own hashi everywhere you go. If you're going to eat at a restaurant, if you're going to eat a bento or something, you can bring it with you. The eco habits are geared towards using reusable items and not using single-use, basically single-use plastics, single-use anything. That's where we want to first target. And the idea is that people, once they are just conscientious about it, they'll start to incorporate things by themselves. They'll start to be creative about how to reduce use by themselves.
We do eco habits, and we no longer do any of these things. I mean, I've had maybe 2 plastic bags in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe 2. And pet bottles, like almost 0 in a year, just because we followed these eco habit challenges ourselves. They work.
Where can people find more information about what you're doing?
We have a Facebook page, which is where most of the content goes. It's called SmallWorld JPN. It's on Facebook. SmallWorld is the name of the group. The logo. Yeah. It's on Facebook. We have Instagram, which is SmallWorld_Insta. And we have a meetup, which is SmallWorld JPN as well. And you can find
Like everything we picked up today, if it hadn't gotten picked up, the next time it rained, it would have been washed into the sewers, especially the cigarette butts. People don't think about it, but the cigarette butts get washed into the ocean and then they get eaten, and then they, become part of our food and they kill animals. And so I don't think it makes as big of a difference as if we can actually get the companies to change their actions. But obviously all the trash we picked up today we prevented from just sitting around or damaging our wildlife. And I don't know that it's necessarily going to directly impact any of my behaviors, because we already all use tote bags. I bring silverware with me, and I don't smoke. But it might make me a little more cognizant about even making sure that I don't accidentally drop trash. If that makes sense?
Yeah, no, I agree that the social impact and the psychological impact of how it affects people is a big factor, and it may not be efficacious in terms of those products not making a difference or not seeming to make a difference, but how it affects people's minds and behaviors, I think, is where the real impact is. And I think it's like that story with the people, the guy throwing starfish back into the sea, where he says it matters to that one.
Yeah.
It does matter. It does make a difference. So all the little cigarette butts, even one we picked up, it matters.
Right, we don't have to get every cigarette butt in Nagoya to make a difference. Like the cigarette butts that we did get make a difference. We don't have to be perfect. And our whole thing is about practical.
Yeah.
And it's not practical to aim to get Nagoya to be clean forever, everywhere. But if we're doing what we can to contribute positively, then I think that's beneficial. What do you think, Carly?
Well, it kind of reminds me of this quote that I read once. It said, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly.
That is the opposite.
So, but a lot of the times we're used to hearing that anything worth doing is worth doing well.
Yeah.
And the attitude that can give in people is that if I can't give my full effort into something, then I shouldn't do it at all. And in this case, you know, I'm not saying that we didn't put in our full effort, because we did, but even if this is a small thing that we can do, it's better than doing absolutely nothing at all and saying that we can't make a difference and we can't change.
And actually that version of the quote is better for growth mindset over fixed mindset anyway, because we don't have to be perfect in our actions, and we don't have to, as I said, clean up all of Nagoya. It's not perfect. In the wide scope of things, it probably was a poor job relative to the amount of trash in Nagoya, but it is something. Okay, I like that quote too.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking about this actually on the way to our trash. A lot of the problem is sorry, on the way to the trash. On the way to the trash cleanup. Look, the problem that has been created is because everyone has worked together, and we've done more harm than good. And if everyone can do more good than harm, then we can solve it. So if you personally do what you can and find a way to live sustainably and do more good than harm, eventually we'll solve this problem, just like we created it. It's all within our power. So I think it's useful because it helps us do more good than harm.
Yeah.
And I think the moral of this story is that the enemy of change is apathy. And
We know apathy so well.
on that note, we'll see you next time from your Practical Sustainability Sisters. Bye.